Hey guys, my name is Moon and welcome back for more Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 2, Watanagashi. So, last time it was like the epilogue, I suppose? No, epilogue for when Keiichi was looking for Rika and then Satoko as well, right? I really liked the conversation or the scenes with Rena last time. Rena's the total friend in this chapter, right? In the first chapter, she was actually, it's hard to say. Maybe it was all Keiichi's delusions, right? But the scenes we saw with Rena on the first game was her going crazy and stuff like that, right? But in this one, total best friend mode, and yeah, it was really cool, right? And then we also have Ooishi questioning Keiichi, right? And then him saying that the head of the families, right? Kimiyoshi gone, the mayor, missing, right? And then the Furude Rika. So for the last one, the Sonozaki family, it might be Mion or the grandma Oreo, right? So we're gonna have to see who goes missing next. But maybe it's Mion because she was leading the people already, right? So she's probably the heir or the leader now, and her grandma retired. But who knows, right? Maybe the grandma's gonna go. Maybe it's Mion. Maybe it's both of them, right? We'll see. I saw a ceiling I was familiar with. Though I was groggy from sleep, I did notice that I was in my futon like I was every morning. I looked at my clock and despite having turned in so late last night, I had awoken precisely the same moment I always did. I'm so low in sleep, but I guess you really can get up at the same time every day. I mean, true though, if you got used to waking up at this certain time, your body knows. The secrets of the human body never cease to amaze me. If I went back to sleep like this, I would definitely not be waking up again. I spurred myself on and slipped out of my futon. Mom asked me about last night at breakfast. Apparently, we two had gotten a call asking if we knew where Rika-chan and Satoko were, and Mom vaguely understood that something serious was happening.
じゃあ、昨夜はお友達とみんなで夜遅くまで探してたの
？3時くらいまでかな。うん。
結局見つかったの？そのリカちゃんとサトコちゃんは。
I rarely bit into my toast. It really didn't have any taste. Oh, who's here? Is it Rena? Just then we heard a chime go ding dong. I looked up at the clock and saw that it was about 5 minutes past my regular meeting time with Rena. It was her at the door.
おはよう。少しは眠れたかな？
何時間寝れたんだろうな。多分鶏の足でも数えられるくらいだと思う。
Rena seemed pretty sleep deprived as well. There was something missing from her usual spirit.
学校行くか？
うん。その方がね、きっといいと思うの。
She said, smiling, albeit stiffly. Rena's probably worrying her heart out about those two as well. Even so, she wanted to go to school.
今日お休みしたら、きっと圭一くんは病んで寝込んじゃうと思う。私、そんなの嫌だから。だから、一緒に学校に行こ
わかった。ちょっと待っててくれ。すぐ支度するから。
I was just a little bit happy about Rena mustering that much consideration for me. So Kimiyoshi was gone, right? He was the first one, and then yesterday it was Rika, and then for today it's gonna be the Sonozaki family member, right? We're gonna have to see if it's gonna be Mion. We went to the place where we usually meet up with Mion, but she was nowhere to be found. We were a little bit late today, so we thought she'd be waiting for us.
う。みーちゃん、さすがに今日は起きられないかもね。
あ、そうか。あいつにとっては昨日だけじゃないんだよな。一昨日の晩も村長さんを探して徹夜してるんだよな。
We waited for a bit. Time passed until it got to the point where it was okay for us to go alone, and we exchanged glances.
どうする？もう少し待つか？
At that point, my brain, which had finally been awoken by the morning air, recalled the ominous words Ooishi-san had left me last night. The leaders of the three families were disappearing one after the other. And next, it might be the Sonozaki's leader. Could Mion have... No, that couldn't be.
行こう。今日は寝かせておいてあげようよ。
Rena gave me a pat on the back.
ミオン、本当にいるよな。
何か言ったかな？
いや、独り言。行こうぜ。
The two of us headed to school by ourselves. On the way, we saw a bunch of our classmates accompanied by their parents. Ooh, because yeah, people are going missing now. It even looked like some of them were being taken to school by car. Surprisingly, the principal was also standing watch at the school gate. I'd never seen that before.
おはようございます。
I mean, the whole town is on edge right now.
おはようございます。
The principal was bowing to our classmates' guardians. The wooden sword leaning next to him was a little ominous.
前原くん、おはよう。龍宮くん、おはよ
おはようございます。
う。先生から大切なお話があるから、すぐに教室に入るように。いいかね？
Rena and I said nothing. Maybe she's gonna say about Rika and Satoko? The madness that only existed at night had finally crawled out into the sunlight. That's what it felt like.
Minasan, おはようございます。
Man, she's smiling though. The hushed conversations that had been spreading for a while now all disappeared like an illusion the moment our teacher walked in the door. Silence dominated the classroom. The principal came in with our teacher as well. And this was clearly not a normal morning.
まず、校長先生から大切なお話があります。校長先生、どうぞ。
The principal cleared his throat and approached the dais.
もう知っている生徒もおるだろ
The classroom was dead silent. Everyone was staring at Rika-chan and Satoko's empty seats. The principal briefly and simply declared that Rika-chan and Satoko had gone missing. There wasn't a single person in the classroom who didn't already know. There seemed to be many, however, who couldn't accept it as a truth. It had been confirmed to them now by the principal's words. There were sobs throughout the classroom and I heard a kid crying. They steadily spread out throughout the whole room. The big-hearted principal wasn't able to keep his cool either.
はい、皆さん注目注目。今日から当分の間、登下校は保護者の方と一緒に行います。保護者の方の都合がつきにくい生徒は、集団での登下校とします。プリントを作りましたので、よく読み、保護者の方にも必ず見せてください。いいですね。
The teacher's voice was a little abrasive. Not even she could conceal the strain she felt from this unprecedented abnormal situation. They should have just canceled school today. However, Rena told me that the school was also like a nursery for the students whose parents both work, so some of them wouldn't want school to be canceled.
では、授業を始めます。委員長はお休みですね。
Oh yeah, Mion is absent. She's a class president.
では日直、号令。起立。
That feeling of wanting to maintain an everyday atmosphere, even if only in school, precisely because our lives had been messed up, was something that I agreed with at this point. As for the teacher, who always had her lunch in the staff lounge, she ate in the classroom today. I had to laugh at her curry bento. Curry again? I mean, teacher loves curry a lot, right? Which was just a rumor until now, but there was nobody to laugh with me. Rena brought her chair and lunch over to my seat. Today was only the two of us. The fact that we didn't need to drag any other desk was sad, true.
眠いね。
ああ。でも、もうそんなに気にならなくなったよ。むしろ今寝れるくらいのずぶとい神経が羨ましい。
そうかもね。
I was sleepy this morning, but my drowsiness had dissipated after coming to school and constantly feeling the incredible tension. Rena's bento box didn't have its usual luster. That was to be expected. Rena was up for a long time last night too. She wouldn't have time to make her lunch beforehand, since it's not like she would have gotten up early this morning.
遠慮なくつっつけよ。今日は素直に俺の弁当の方が立派なのを認めろ。
じゃあ遠慮なくいただくね。ああ、しそチーズのちくわ巻きなんて面白いな。
Ch.2 roll.
レナのだって今日のはレトルトだろうけどなかなかうまいぞ。
I realized the two of us were desperately trying to brighten the afternoon mood to its usual level as much as we could. It's very sad, man, because, yeah, when they have class, right, they were always together, and now two of them are missing. Mion is absent. Who knows what happened to her, right? I looked around the classroom, and it seemed like we were the only ones trying to do so, surrounded as we were by gloominess.
こうして二人だけでお弁当をつつき合ってると、なんだかなんだかだよね。
Is he gonna cry? He's like he's just forcing a laugh right now. Our laughter grew quieter. I was the first one to mess up.
ごめん。悪かった。
いいよ。仕方ないよ。
Our chopsticks both stopped moving. We couldn't keep it up anymore.
リカちゃんとサトコ、どこに行ったんだろうな。
Those words might have sounded too miserable. Everyone was thinking it, using a roundabout ways to address the topic, but I came right out and said it. I heard Rena catch her breath.
昨日ね、ケイチくんがいなくなってる間にいろいろと話を聞いてたから。
ゆうべはすまなかった。
Okay, sorry, I accidentally clicked it.
頼む。
At the time, since they had arrived for support, Rena was helping the Lady Society cook the miso soup we had. And they reported all of the information the villagers had gathered, and Rena said she overheard it.
でも結局何もわからなかったんだろう。学校が終わってから家に帰って二人で自転車に乗ってどこかへ行ったらしいということ以外は全く。
Yeah, their bikes were not there, right? Mion had told me yesterday. We had no clues.
警察の人も家に帰ってからすぐに自転車で遊びに行ったんだろうって言ってる。家に帰ってからすぐに自転車で遊びに行くところといったら町かもしれないでしょ。だから沖宮の町でいなくなったんじゃないかって結論になってるみたい。警察は明るくなってから捜査範囲を沖宮にも広げるって言ってた。
In town, it didn't make sense why we couldn't find them even though we searched all Hinamizawa. Still, something didn't fit. I had no basis for thinking that, just a gut feeling. I revealed something to Rika-chan that was likely very important to her that day. Then Rika-chan had told me to leave it to her. And then, what did she say? Alright, if she didn't work hard, then something bad might happen to the dog too. Here's the thing I didn't understand. Who is the dog though? Is the dog Keiichi? With all the talks of dogs and cats, I still didn't have the faintest idea what she really meant, but it might have been Rika-chan's way of saying that this was a race against time. I selflessly pushed my anxiety on Rika-chan and tried to run away. When I thought about it, I shouldn't have run back then. I should have asked her more about the dogs and cats. The more I think back on it, I really screwed up. But yeah, Rika-chan didn't mention any name though. Yeah, when she was talking to Keiichi there, it was always Twisted Sister, no, Twisted Cat, or yeah, something like that, right? Twin cats, dogs. Anyway, I don't think Rika-chan was in a situation where she would just go off to play somewhere. Of course, I didn't have any evidence or conviction to base that on. It was just a hunch.
町なんかに行くわけないと思うんだ。
ケイチ君もそう思う？レナもそう思うよ。リカちゃんもサトコちゃんもひなみ沢でいなくなったに違いないの。
I looked back at Rena and startled. I could hear the conviction in those words. Without replying to my gaze, she took her bento box and went to the hallway.
お弁当箱を洗ってくるね。
She timed that in a way that broke off the conversation. Suddenly, I got the feeling that the next thing she had to say would be hard to say aloud in the classroom. I hurriedly grabbed my bento box and followed her. Rena didn't go to the kitchenette, but rather to the water fountains out back where the students seldom went. The water flowed onto our bento boxes. During that time, Rena didn't say a word. Then, after making sure there were no other students around, she finally opened her mouth to speak.
リカちゃんとサトコちゃんが町に遊びに行っていなくなったなんて、なんだか腑に落ちなくて、私なりにいろいろ聞いたり調べたりしたの。
What?
聞いた？
Yeah, who did you ask?
何を？
婦人会のおばさんたちにいろいろ。昨日のお味噌汁、お豆腐がいっぱい入ってたでしょ？富田豆腐店のおばあちゃんも来てたの。
Tomita tofu? Okay. Oh, I remember. That was one of the stores on the road leading to the hospital. Those huge lumps of tofu dancing in a bathtub-like cistern always looked nice and refreshing.
おばあちゃんね、昨日学校の帰り道にさとこちゃんがお店に寄ってお豆腐を買っていったのを覚えてたの。
豆腐？学校の帰り道にだろ？それが何か手がかりになるのか？
いいから聞いて。リカちゃんの家に行った時のこと覚えてるかな？
Rena stepped away from the sinks and spread her arms wide to create the space of Rika-chan's room.
ガス台にお鍋がかけてあって、その中にお味噌汁が入ってたの。
What? Didn't they mention this last time?
中にはお豆腐が多分一丁の半分くらい入ってたと思う。残りの半分は冷蔵庫の中にあったの。冷ややっこにするつもりだったんだね。お皿に開けてラップがかけてあった。
As Rena explained, she walked around as if she were really going through Rika-chan's room.
でもレナ、それが何だって言うんだ？
ケイチ君、お味噌汁のお豆腐って本当に最後の最後に入れるんだよ。
Okay.
つまりお料理してたリカちゃんか、もしくはサトコちゃんはお夕飯の時間の直前まであそこに立って料理をしていたことになるの。
夕食の時間の直前まで？
Wait, wasn't everyone saying that their bikes weren't around, so they must have gone somewhere to play by themselves?
三角コーナーのゴミを見たらすごく不吉祥だった。食事やお弁当はほとんどリカちゃんが作ってるんだけど、たまにね、サトコちゃんがすることもあるの。だからその晩はサトコちゃんがお料理したんだね。
それってつまりサトコに関しては遊びに行かず夕食の準備をしてたってことなのか？
She's the combination of the music, though.
うん。それで私、炊飯釜も見てみたの。炊飯釜には2人分のご飯が炊けていた。
ってことは2人分の夕飯は作ったけど 二人とも夕飯は食べなかった。
So they were taken, or they were kidnapped, I suppose, right? While they were making food.
そういうことか。
And then the person who did that took the bikes to make it seem that they were going out, right? Rena nodded.
それで次に冷蔵庫の中も見てみたの。そうしたら残り半分のお豆腐で作った冷ややっこがあったの。それだけじゃない。お夕飯用に作ったおかずも何皿かあって、それらにはみんなラップがされていた。
You usually plastic wrap things so that you can have leftovers for the next day. My mom does it all the time, using them in breakfast or lunch.
そう。ラップって食べ残しとかを取っておくためにするものだよね。冷蔵庫に入れたということは、少なくともその晩のうちには食べないつもりだったということ。
そういうことになるのか。
ケイチ君、もっとよく考えて。お夕飯を全く手つけずでラップしてあったんだよ。
Okay.
どういうことだと思う？
じゃあ夕食を食べる必要がなくなったわけだ。外食とか出前とかで。
それも突然にね。
Oh, okay. So I'm actually stupid. So you just went out? Okay.
前もって決まっていたらお料理なんかしない。そしてお夕食は2人分用意されていた。
Or yeah, maybe maybe someone just suddenly called them, both of them, right?
つまりさとこちゃんは2人で食事ができると本当に直前までそう思って料理をしていたということなの。
じゃあ2人で遊びに行っていなくなったというのは間違いじゃないか。
そう。つまりいなくなったのはお夕飯ができて夕食に至るまでの本当にわずかな時間。多分7時頃くらい。
そんな時間に食事もせずに2人はどこへ行ったんだ。
当然そこに行き着くよね。ケイチ君、覚えてるかな？折りたたみ机が置いてあって、その上にお醤油や箸立てなんかが置いてあったのを。
Yeah, I remember that. There might have been something like that. I didn't remember.
お醤油の小瓶ね。空っぽだったの。もう一滴も入ってなかった。これじゃあ冷ややっこは美味しくないよね。
I mean, do you always need soy sauce though? What if they just ran out, Rena?
だから私、流しの下にある醤油の大瓶を探してみたの。
よくそんなところにあるって知ってるな。
Yeah, she checked everything.
私もリカちゃんの家に行ってお料理したことあったから。
Rena cleared her throat, her face returning to a serious expression.
でね、流しの下を開けてみたら醤油の大瓶が瓶ごとなかったの。
醤油の大瓶がないとどういう意味になるんだ。
Now the missing soy sauce as well. It got only kakoshi'd.
ここから先は全部レナの想像だからね。
Okay, okay.
だから最後まで口を挟まずに聞いていてね。
Okay, I'm gonna shut up now. Okay, I need to talk. Last night, Sadako was making dinner like normal. Rika-chan usually watched TV until the food was ready, so she was probably lying down watching a variety show or something. Then Sadako put the tofu in the miso soup, and right when dinner was about to be ready, she noticed that they were out of soy sauce. So Rika-chan, who had nothing to do, brought the big bottle of soy sauce to a neighbor's house to borrow theirs. What? Brought the big bottle of soy sauce to a neighbor's house. Okay.
俺ご近所付き合いってよくわからないんだが、醤油なんかって分けてもらえるものなのか。
I mean, for Rika probably, right?
うん。ひなみざわではそんなに珍しいことじゃないよ。
So Rika-chan rode her bike out to get some soy sauce. No matter how long Satoko-chan waited though, Rika-chan didn't come back. So then Satoko called up the house where Rika-chan was going. Would Rika-chan happen to be imposing on you? Something like that? Then the other person must have replied with something like
う
this.
ちに食事の用意があるからさとこちゃんもいらっしゃい。
So, let's say the person that they went to is a person they know really, right? That maybe us or Keiichi and the guys know as well.
リカちゃんはもう食べてるよって。きっとそんな感じで呼び出したんだと思う。
Satoko's face. Satoko called Rika a few names in private and wrapped up the dinner she had made for them. She put it in the fridge so she could use it for breakfast and the lunch next day. Then Satoko got on her bike too and headed for the house where Rika-chan was.
でもすでにこの時点でおかしいの。食事ってね、突然やってきた人に振る舞えるほど多めに作るものじゃないんだよ。
A veteran housewife would never normally make so much food that she could feed 2 extra
た
people.
またま偶然作りすぎたことだって考えられるだろう。
それでも絶対に考えられない。
Rena flatly denied me.
だってリカちゃんはさとこちゃんが頑張って作ったお夕飯がもうできてることを知ってるんだよ。どんなにお夕飯を勧められたってさとこちゃんのお夕飯を無駄にするようなことをするわけがない。
This was all only circumstantial evidence and Rena's guesswork. Even so, it was all extremely convincing. It was only the ray of hope we had to topple the situation bereft of clues, I mean.
じゃあレナ、リカちゃんはどこへ醤油をもらいに行ったんだ？
Yeah, that was the heart of it. It would have to be somewhere she'd be comfortable with asking for soy sauce and somewhere Satoko wouldn't think it's suspicious that she'd been invited for dinner. So who was it? Okay, Rena slowly shook her head.
レナの推理はここまで。
Okay.
あくまでも想像だからね。
Yes, just say it.
警察の人とかには内緒にしておいてね。
隠すことはないんじゃないか？仮に半分しか会ってないとしてもきっとヒントにはなると思うぞ。
Okay, my guess it's gonna be Rena's gonna say Mion's house.
ケイチ君、これってひなみ沢の人を疑うって意味だよ。確信もないのに村の人を疑えない。
I saw a few girls coming over to rinse out their bento boxes. Oh hell no, she didn't even say it. Okay, I was thinking about maybe Mion's house, right? Maybe. Okay, Rena cut the conversation short there and returned to the classroom. I stayed there alone and my body bathed in the lively voice of the cicadas. My god. Okay, let's think about this. In my own way, Rena had barely any information to go on and yet she'd reason out that much. So there should be something that only I, who knew far more than Rena did, could deduce. Ooishi-san said this last night too. But this incident was definitely occurring within Hinamizawa. Rena might not have wanted to believe it, but it's basically a given that the culprit is someone from the village. The trigger for everything was when the 4 of us trespassed in the forbidden storehouse. Somebody saw us going in there. For the culprits breaking taboo, it was a crime punishable by death. Left one? Maybe he didn't deserve it. But the one on the right, she deserved it. Yeah, she deserved to get burned. So that night, Tomitaki-san and Takano-san were sacrificed. She was so infatuated, right, by the stories of the gruesome things, and she died. There were 2 left. Shion and myself. Honestly, man, Shion, you're sweet, but you're the #1 suspect. However, before the culprits bore their fangs on Shion and me, they went after the mayor to whom Shion had confessed her sin. Next, they went for Rika-chan to whom I'd confessed my sin. Because yeah, Shion went to the mayor, right? Let's check. They went after the mayor, see? And then when we told about Rika-chan, Rika-chan was gone, right? And then who did we tell it to? To Shion. Then what about Satoko? I mean, Satoko was there, for example, with Rika. So of course, you're gonna deal with the other one as well because she might say something, right? Just a stray bullet? Yes, most likely. By itself, Rika-chan being sacrificed after I told her everything was mortifying. But Satoko, who was sacrificed for no reason, wasn't that all the more regrettable? Everything was my fault. Who would be next to disappear? Would it be Shion and me next time? Why weren't the culprits going for Shion and me right away though? If they had enough power to raise the mayor and Rika-chan, then why not just get rid of Shion and me? If they went for us as well, I wouldn't like it, but I could still tolerate it. What I couldn't forgive was them getting rid of those we'd confessed to. Now that I think of it, yesterday Shion said something alarming. She felt like someone was watching her. So then, was someone watching me as well? Strangely though, I hadn't felt anything like that until now. Even though I'm the root cause of everything, I had never once had that impression. Maybe that was simply because Shion was more cautious than me and I was just careless. That's another story though. Let's get back on track. Why weren't the culprits going after Shion and me? I felt like that's where the key to this lay. Could it be? Was I making a big assumption that I shouldn't have been? I thought and thought but couldn't come up with an answer. The one thing I understood was that I was a concerned party to this case, and that I had a duty to watch over it until everything got resolved. I heard the ring of the bell declaring the end of lunch break. Would somebody else disappear tonight? If nobody else did, then I wanted them to get rid of me tonight for sure, and then put an end to all of this. Shion's hysterical voice in the phone last night came back to mind. They planned to murder those close to us first, make us miserable as possible, and then only then would they kill us.
前原君、昼休みは終わりであるぞ。教室に戻りなさい。
At the principal's urging, I returned to the classroom, which was quiet as the street at night. Honestly, for me, I think for Shion, she had to do something with Kimiyoshi and Rika and Satoko. But for Takano and Tomitake, I think that's another problem. I don't think Shion had anything to do with that. Only the latter, only Kimiyoshi and Rika Satoko, only them. I don't know what happened with Takano and Tomitake because that was pretty much instant, right? After the Watanagashi, and then they died already. Kimiyoshi was, I think, next day, right? And then Rika Satoko the next one, and then today, who knows if there's gonna be someone again. There were a lot of parents picking up their children after school. It was just like a kindergarten. The students' parents who didn't come went home as a group. We left school with everyone else following the assigned route. Even while leaving, nobody said anything funny. They all looked like exhausted mountaineers silently marching through the mountains. As we went, one left and then another, and in the end it was just Rena and me. I was supposed to escort Rena all the way to her house, but she declined.
本当にいいのか？一人じゃ不用心だぞ。
レナを送った後、一人で帰る圭一くんだって同じくらい不用心だよ。まだ明るいんだもの。大丈夫。
そうか。じゃあ気をつけてな。
うん。あれ？あれ、警察の人じゃないかな。
It's Ooishi again. Rena pointed towards my house. There was a car stopped in front of it. I mean, Ooishi did say, right, he was gonna talk to Keiichi every day. From out of the car came Ooishi-san. He must have been waiting for my return to ambush me. Ooishi-san started walking over wearing the annoying grin.
レナはもう行きな。あいつに絡まれると長い。
でもどうして警察の人が圭一君に用があるんだろう。
Rena's a good person. Yes. Even when I made a fuss over Rika-chan's disappearance, she never asked me why I did. She could have been suspecting me ever since then, and that would have been okay. Even so, she still hadn't asked me anything. She didn't try and pressure me into revealing the truth.
俺は犯人じゃない。
そんなの知ってるよ。
でも事件に何の関わりもないとは言い切れない。
Rena simply listened, smiling like she always did. Even though I had insinuated I was related to the incident, she didn't look at me as though she were looking at something dirty.
今度話すよ。
待ってるね。
じゃあ早く行きな。
Rena gave me a slight bow and trotted away, leaving me alone with Ooishi-san, who walked over.
どうもどうも。お帰りなさい、前原さん。
どうも。
ご家族はお留守みたいですね。いやはや困っていたんですよ。
He came all the way to my house? I could only thank my good fortune that my parents were absent. Since neither of them was around at this hour, they would probably be back late.
親父の仕事の関係で出かけてるんだと思います。帰りは遅いと思いますよ。
そうですか。それは好都合です。親御さんに変な思いをさせずに済みます。
Ooishi-san pushed my back, prompting me to walk. It seemed like he wanted me to get in the car.
警察に連行するんですか？
I wasn't a culprit, but I was the cause of everything. It wouldn't be weird if he wanted to investigate me. That kind of gave me a resigned feeling.
いえ、立ち話もなんですから、車の中でお話ししようってだけですよ。
Yeah, and this car is AC, so that's better.
さあ、どうぞ。
He opened the back door and urged me inside. If I got in, I wouldn't have a very easy time getting out. If I said no, however, then this man might really handcuff me and take me away. I couldn't refuse, I could only accept in good grace. The inside of the car had been cooled too much by the air conditioner, and there was a rusty smell coming from the filter, which must have been cleaned only rarely.
ありゃ、冷えすぎます？切りましょうか。
He turned off the engine and it suddenly became quiet, and the voice of the Higurashi with all their cool loneliness snuck inside. Quack, 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 quack. It sounded to me like a chorus of voices, lamenting my exorbitant punishment for having harbored such foolish curiosity. For a few moments while listening to those voices, I myself lamented the days that had been twisted and distorted since that night. Ooishi-san, as he waiting for me to voluntarily begin talking, lit a cigarette and listened to the Higurashi. The silence became deafening and I was the one who folded first.
捜査の方はどうなってるんですか？
捜査？何のですか？最近はいっぱいありすぎてどれのことやら。
全部です。
いいですよ。本当は報道管制の敷かれた秘密捜査なんですが、あなたには特別に聞かせてあげましょう。じゃあ最初の事件からいきます。
The freak deaths of Tomitake-san and Takano-san on the night of Watanagashi.
こっちはお恥ずかしいかな。さっぱり進展なしです。
I mean, you can't really progress anything until you find evidence on where the people are, right?
まずは富武さん。
I mean, I guess they found Tomitake and Takano. I mean, the other ones.
集団で暴行を受けた形跡はあるのですが、 自分の喉をかき破るなんて異常な死に方の説明がつかないんです。何らかの薬物中毒を疑っているんですが、検出はされませんでした。
高野さんはどんな感じなんです？
同じくさっぱりです。焼死死体は検視が非常に困難でして、首を絞められた後にガソリンをかけられたんじゃないかと見ています。管轄が岐阜県産でね。
Did the voice suddenly change?
あちらさん、自分たちの縄張りの事件だからってあんまり協力的じゃないんですよ。おっと、これは関係ない話ですね。
So the police didn't know anything other than the fact that the victims died inexplicably.
ですが、犯行時間はおおむねお祭りが終わった直後だろうと見ています。
Yeah, for them right after the festival ended, right?
高野さんの方はちょっとあやふやですが、富武さんとほぼ同じ時刻に殺害され、岐阜の山中に遺棄されたと考えるのが妥当でしょうな。
どうしてわざわざ遠くの山まで死体を運んだんでしょう。富武さんも同じように遠くへ運べばよかったのに。
ありゃ、前原さん、あなたなかなかどうして鋭いですね。
And the thing is, they burned it, right? So, yeah, people would see.
もちろん私もそこは注目すべき点だと思っていますよ。他にもいくつか不審点はありますが、まあ現時点でお話しできるのはこのくらいです。
村長さんの方はどうですか？何か手がかりはありましたか？
Having exhausted a topic, I changed the subject, otherwise he might turn the conversation on me.
失踪された一日の足取りを調べました。
Okay, here we go.
手がかりになるようなものは見つかりませんでしたが、一応お話ししましょうか。
The mayor Keiichi Kimiyoshi. Apparently he was suffering from severe hemorrhoids, okay.
古い生まれの方って非常にプライドが高いんですよね。それで村長さん、誰にも内緒で鹿骨市内にある大学病院の肛門科に通われていたんです。失踪当日、村長さんは診察の予約が取ってあったんで、朝一で出かけられました。
Even I knew that big hospitals like university hospitals had a really long waiting time. Apparently people would get in line for hours beforehand even if they had an appointment.
診察が終わったのは午後1時頃です。その後、病院内のレストランで軽食を取られ、雑誌を読みながら時間を潰されました。この辺りのことは自宅にあったお財布の中のレシートで分かってます。
There was nothing suspicious at all about that.
その日は夕方から神社の集会場で会合の予定があったんです。それで余裕を持ってお帰りになるはずだったんですが、途中電車で人身事故がありましてね。
Accident?
どうもそれで足止めを食ってしまったらしく、家に着いたのは会合の時間の直前でした。ご家族が大慌てで神社の集会場に出かけていく村長さんを目撃しています。
会合ってのは何だったんですか？確かその会合の帰り道に失踪してるんですよね。
会合は御三家と町会の主要役員が集まってのものでした。今年も起こってしまった連続壊死事件の対応について協議したものと思われます。
So then, on his way home, the old man who had treated Shion like his own daughter, he was a dependable person who would encourage Shion whenever she felt pressured by anxiety, and yet, Shion's painful voice struck me right in the heart.
あれ？
どうなさいました？
I was taken aback how strange my voice sounded. What was it that just surprised me? I squeezed my hand with my hands to try and drag back out what I had only realized for a split second. Remember, Keiichi Maibara, you realized something. Something important. The night of the Watanagashi, that was when everything started. The night Takano-san and Tomitake-san died. The next morning, a word of the incident had spread throughout Hinamizawa. They planned to talk about it during the evening meeting. The mayor, however, had an appointment at the hospital, and as planned, he went there without telling his family. He got a checkup at the hospital. He ate something. And then there was an unexpected delay on this train ride back. When he returned, the meeting was already about to start. The mayor changed clothes, got on his bicycle, and hurried to the assembly hall at the shrine as fast as he could. From when he heard about the incident on the night of Watanagashi until when he showed up at the assembly hall, everything he was doing that day was done in secret. During that time, nobody found out that he went to the hospital alone. He ate alone. And he got on a train alone. That all meant he had absolutely no contact with anyone else. You couldn't have even called him on the phone. Okay, but what does that mean, Keiichi Maibara? Why does it matter, Keiichi Maibara?
Keiichi-chan,
どうした？話せよ。俺たちの間で隠し事はなしだろ？
私、君吉のおじいちゃんに打ち明けたんです。
I told him everything. I told old man Kimiyoshi everything.
村長さんに、私、あの晩、最後でに忍び込んだこと、打ち明けたんです。誰かにそれを見られてて、私たちを狙っている人がいるって。
ああ。それで？
君吉のおじいちゃん、怒らなかった。そして、にっこり笑って、しおちゃんがちゃんと反省してるなら、鬼隠しになんかなるものかって、本当に笑いながら、
To leave it. He said to leave it to him, just like what Rika said, right? Sweat burst out of my body like bullets. They became one long strand and slid down from my forehead to my nose and fell. So then, what does it mean? Okay, no more playing dumb. When did she tell him? She said she learned of the incident from a phone call her father had made that morning. The mayor had left the house first thing in the morning for his appointment at the hospital. He didn't tell anybody where he was going. Nobody knew about him going to the university hospital. Furthermore, his train ride back to his house was delayed by an accident. As soon as he got home, he rushed out to the assembly hall. Then the meeting at the assembly hall began and continued until it was dark out. Then everyone left. Nobody saw him after the meeting was over. He just disappeared. Which meant,
前原さん、
okay, shut up, Ooishi. I'm thinking.
大丈夫ですか？やっぱり暑いんならクーラー入れますよ。
Another part of me was messing with my thoughts, demanding that I didn't think any further than that. My head was pounding violently, and the fluids packed inside it all blended together until nothing made sense. It was just about to settle, yet it had been smashed and melted in the blink of an eye, no longer able to retain its shape.
前原さん、もしもし。
はい。
Ooishi-san lit yet another cigarette. There was another cigarette, but placed in the ashtray. Was it displaying the passage of time? Had my thoughts been frozen for that long?
私、知ってる限りのことを話したつもりです。お返しに、今度は前原さんの話を聞かせてもらってもいいですよね。
My mind had become a gigantic oozing mess. My brain felt like it had been totally minced by the blades of a blender and I couldn't think.
ほらほら、また黙り込む。もし誤解があるようなら先に解いておきたいんですがね。私は別にあなたが犯人だなんて思っちゃいないんです。
Ooishi-san gave his best attempt at an adult
あ
smile.
の晩、あなたたち4人が西宮殿に忍び込んだことは知っています。
Yes, I know you keep saying that.
次の日にはもう村の知る人は誰でも知る噂になってましたからね。それ自体は不法侵入として問われるべきことですが、問題はそれじゃない。そこで何があったかなんです。忍び込んだ人間が次々と犠牲になるような何があったのか。
何もなかったです。
As soon as I said it, I regretted confirming my presence there, but I knew it didn't matter anymore. Yeah.
本当に何もなかったんですか？だって現にこうして中に入った人たちが次々と犠牲になってるんですよ。しかも扉の鍵を付け替えた村長やリカさんまで犠牲に。それだけの事態を引き起こす何があの中にあったんです？
I was far too tired of keeping quiet about this. Perhaps that was Ooishi-san's goal all along, but again, that didn't matter anymore.
大昔に使った拷問道具がたくさんしまってありました。それを高野さんたちと見て回りました。
本当にそれだけ？
本当にそれだけです。
口封じをされるようなとんでもないものが隠してあったんじゃないですか？
The thing is, there's really nothing. It was only the equipment there.
例えば覚醒剤の山とか
Psychoactive drugs. Okay, what is this now?
消しの秘密工場があったとか、あるいはソ連か中国あたりの拳銃が山ほど積まれていたと。
Handguns? What?
不審な木箱やコンテナが山積みされてませんでしたか？
There was nothing as exaggerated as what Ooishi-san was hoping for, but I felt like in a way there were plenty of terrible things hidden in there. From the perspective of someone who viewed the storehouse as sacred, whether or not I thought I had seen some crazy things didn't matter in the slightest. The four of us broke the taboo. Couldn't they just get a warrant to check that place? Punish us. That should have been what happened.
あの西宮殿に何か秘密があるんじゃないかと思って捜査令状を請求したんですがね。もう空前絶後の妨害工作がありまして、信仰の対象に対する侮辱であり、憲法で定めた信仰の自由をなんたらかんたら、いやもうだから実際に入ったあなたに聞くほかはなかったんですよ。
So they didn't get the search warrant, okay.
本当に古い錆びて埃をかぶった拷問道具しかなかったです。他に目立つものなんて何もなかったです。
では富武さんたちが殺されたのは禁忌を破ったからという制裁だけなんですかね。
I didn't have an answer for the only part.
もういちいち隠しませんけどね。あなただけが今日まで被害を免れてるんです。あなた以外は全員が消えたのに、あなただけが無事なんです。
Are you saying Shion is missing as well?
あなたが無事で、あなた以外が被害に遭う。どんな違いがあったのか、それが知りたいんです。
There was something wrong with what Ooishi-san was saying. You alone. You alone. What?
ちょっと待ってください。あなただけがってどういう意味ですか？
ですからあなただけが最後の生き残りなんじゃないですか。西宮殿に忍び込んだコソ泥4人組の
The only one left alive. Hold on. Shion was
あ
still...
の晩に富武二郎さんと高野美代さんが死に、翌日園崎紫音さんが失踪しました。
Wait, what?
あなただけが無事に今日までを過ごしてるんです。
Wait, they didn't really talk to her though. Only you are still safe and sound at this point.
なぜあなただけなのか。
Wait, the next day we talked to Shion though.
私はそれが知りたいと言ってるんです。
シオンが失踪したって？そんなバカな。
I unintentionally raised my voice, but I didn't care about that. Tomitake-san died. Takano-san died. Jesus, man. And Shion disappeared? When did she disappear? What is this guy talking about?
ありゃ、とっくにご存知だったとばかり。
そんなのは初めて聞いた。シオンが失踪した？いつ？
遡ると綿流しの次の日に失踪していたことになります。
Going back a bit. Stop saying stuff I don't understand.
園崎シオンさんはその日の気分で親類の家を泊まり歩いたりしますので、所在不明が当たり前なんですよ。学校も気分一つでよく休みますしね。先生も困り果ててました。
そんなことは聞いてない。シオンはいつ失踪したかって聞いてるんだ。
ですから綿流しの次の日です。
Wait, it was a day after Watanagashi. The fluids in my body all reversed direction. I lost my sense of balance and everything I could see started to warp and twist out of shape. I simply couldn't endure it. Okay, hang on. Shion had already disappeared? Then, that night, that phone call, who was that? She called me every night. She encouraged me. We vowed that we would do our best to live on and not be erased. Yes, that should have been a phone call with Shion. Should have been a phone call with Shion.
学校は平気で休むし、それを自宅に知らせても取り合ってもらえないから、学校もいちいち電話しない。そんなこんなで、彼女が失踪したことに気づくのに、だいぶ時間がかかったんですよ。
I felt a stabbing pain like needles were being pushed into every pore of my body. It started on my back and began spreading throughout the rest of me. When it had completely covered the surface of my skin, it began to worm its way inside my stomach as well.
ほら、覚えてませんか。綿流しの次の日に、私たち図書館でお会いしたでしょう。あの時、シオンさんもいましたよね。あれが最後の目撃なんです。
That was the last time?
あの後、彼女の所在は確認されてないんです。
そんなバカな。そんなバカな。
The day Ooishi-san had only caught me and Shion bounded away, lying that she needed to go to work. Didn't she call me that night?
エンジェルモートっていうファミレスのバイトですよね。あの日から無断欠勤です。今日に至るまで全てを無断欠勤してるんです。お店の人も連絡を取ろうにも取れず困りきってましたよ。
そんなバカな。そんなバカな。
状況証拠だけですがね。図書館でお別れしてからバイト先に向かうまで、この間に失踪したと考えるのが妥当でしょうね。
Right after Shion ran away without me?
ご存知なかったみたいですね。なら、先に話せばもっと話が早かったかな。もう、これでご理解いただけたでしょ。あとはあなただけなんです。あなただけが西宮殿に忍び込んだ4人の生き残りなんです。
It couldn't be. It just couldn't be.
次に何か起こるとすれば、それはあなたなんです。前原さん、どうかご理解を。
It can't be. It can't be. Can't be. She had already disappeared. That couldn't be. It couldn't be. I talked to her the day before yesterday. I talked to her last night. She was going to call me again today. That was Shion on the phone. It was Shion. It was from Shion. From Shion. Yes.
シオンさんはとっくに失踪してるんです。次はあなたなんですよ。
Don't say that, man. Then who was on the phone those past nights? Who was on the phone those past nights?
そんなわかんない
Oh my god. It's breaking again. Jesus, man. Like a lot of things are happening inside my mind right now. I don't know. Okay, let's take a break here. So, yes, okay, here are my theories, I suppose, okay? My theories for this one. That was a lot, though. So, Mion and Shion, right? The last time, I guess we saw Mion normal, I suppose, right? Mion first, Mion. Was Watanagashi, right? When Shion left Keiichi, Mion came with the other friends, right? That was Mion, for sure, 150%. That was Mion. At that time, I thought she was gonna, like, change, right? Because there was a pause there when she was talking to Keiichi, when she was asking, did you see Shion, right? And then she didn't. That was Mion there. For Shion, let's say as well, the last time we met her, before the Watanagashi ended, I mean, was when she was talking to Keiichi, saying that she was hearing things and stuff like that, right? And then afterwards she said that, oh, I'm just joking, right? And then she ran away, right? And then, yeah, let's say that place, right? The that night in the Watanagashi, and then the next day we saw Mion again, right, in school. So this is the thing, though. Could one of them be swapping, right? Like one swapped with the other. It could either be Mion swapped into Shion, or yeah, something like that. And the other one is gone. Who the hell knows who, right? But the thing is, Shion was the one kind of going overboard, right? So maybe Shion is pretending to be Mion, right? All of this time, remember when we were looking to we were looking for Rika and Satoko, Mion, the Mion there kind of went crazy there, right? She was very angry and shaking the ladder. That could have been Shion. Maybe she was just pretending, because we were talking to her as well on the phone, right? And then when we see Mion, maybe it was just Shion in disguise, right? And then when I saw that Mion mentioned old man, I always thought that, oh, Mion always says old man, right? She said it inside the house when Rena Keiichi were inside the house of Rika and Satoko, right? So I was like, maybe it wasn't. Maybe they didn't swap. Right? Maybe I was just overthinking it. And then this happens right now. And yeah. Maybe someone is pretending to be the other one, right? Or, so that's my first theory. Shion? But yeah, I think it's Shion though, honestly. Maybe she was the one pretending, right, to be Mion, and then she did something to Mion, right? And this is the other one. Keiichi is getting paranoid again. Hallucinating again. Delusions again, right? Right? Maybe he was there was no one, he was not talking to anyone. He was just very paranoid again. But yeah, that was my second one. I don't think so. Like the way the story is going, I don't think so they would do that again, right? Like in the first game, I think they did that. I mean, it's not confirmed. That was just my theory in the first game, right? That that was all a delusion and stuff like that. But it may be like that again in this game. But the thing is, we don't see it from Rena though, right? Whenever we see Rena, it was just normal, right? only we saw Mion become that kind of scary and stuff. So maybe, yeah. So yeah, my first theory about Shion maybe pretending to be Mion, and then yeah, maybe that is my that is where I'm going. I'm leaning towards. So I mean, yeah, that one. At least right now, we're still learning a lot. Like just the last episode, I was like, oh maybe I was just overthinking it, and now with what Ooishi-san said, right? I was like, oh maybe yeah, maybe just Mion, maybe just Shion pretending to be Mion. All this time, we don't see them together anymore, right? We only see Mion, and then Shion on the phone. Like, damn, what the hell? Okay, I want to continue. Let's just end this episode today. I wanna see what happens next time. Can't wait, and but I hope I'm right here. That's why I didn't want a reveal. I don't know if I said this back then, but like I was kind of like, oh, why did they reveal it so fast that we had a Shion and a Mion, right? It was cool though. It was nice that there were two of them. But imagine if the ending, for example, they didn't reveal that there were two of the Sonozaki sisters, and then we just knew it from the end, right? That someone was just what do you call this? Was like pretending to be the other one all this time, and then she did something to the other one. Yeah, I was thinking like that back then, like, oh maybe in the ending when it becomes very very crazy again. Like I was thinking like two ways. I mean two ways, like split personality, right? For example, back then that Mion and Mion Shion is like two personalities, one body. That was what I was thinking back then. I was like, oh, it would have been cool though. Like at the ending, it like they revealed it that Shion and Mion was just one person, and she just had a split personality, right? And then the other one is like maybe the twins are just yeah, well, like one of them had gone kind of over the edge, and then pretending to be the other one, like by the end, because only for example. But yeah, that's not that's not my theory. It was just something I kind of wanted to see. I mean, back then, but now, yeah, I just really think that like Shion is doing something here. It is really her, man. But I need more evidence. I mean, I need more things to learn before we can fully guarantee that Shion is just pretending to be Mion and doing all of this stuff. She was so messed up. Probably when she was talking with the mayor, after she said all of that, then she killed him afterwards, right? That was a possibility. And then afterwards for Rika, when Keiichi said that, she was like, oh hell no. They know. And then she killed Rika. And then Satoko was there, and then she killed Satoko as well, right? That's the thing. Maybe, right? And yeah, we have the Sonozaki family as well, right? That the heads are dying. Furude, Kimiyoshi, and then Sonozaki. What if she did it to Mion? Right? Damn. A lot of things are happening in my head right now. This game, it's fun. It's fun. It's nice. I enjoyed a lot. Okay, so let's just stop it there. Like I'm just saying pretty much the same things over and over anyways. So we're gonna continue this and do more of Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 2, Watanagashi in the next one. So I'll just see you then, guys. Bye bye.